Hey, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing another video. I got another call. I have to stop the video, but so I'm still at work. But it's during this slow period because at the end of the day, essentially the financial part of the business is closed. That we don't have to take payments or set up extensions for people. I'm not going to say my work. So I'm doing this video real quick. So I think there's a lot of reasons to fire or have him retire a certain Anthony Fauci, and that's controversial because a lot of people. I was talking to someone yesterday that there's like Christmas ornaments with his face on in them, and he's like has this icon. He was talking to Kim Kardashian on fucking Zoom or something like that. And at this like birthday Zoom party. That's what I think about birthday Zoom parties. Just have it with like 2 or 3 or 4 friends. Don't like. Why would you fucking? I don't know. I don't get it. All right, I'll do another video about this in a little while probably, but I just don't get it. The whole thing. I just don't get it anymore. I'm not gonna say what I don't get. I'll talk to about it in another video. But anyways, I think Fauci has caused a lot of division with a lot of his statements and a lot of his backtracking and some hypocrisy here and there too. I don't think he should be retained on Biden's team if Biden does a new pandemic COVID team. And I think Trump, if he could fire him, he should. I just don't like Fauci. I don't think he's good for the country. We need some new people in there. I think it's become so divisive for him to be in there. But also, like I said, with the Rand Paul exchange that happened a couple months ago, basically, so there was this thing going on, on Twitter. I was going to say Tinder. It's on Tinder, yeah. A debate with Fauci on Tinder. His matches are debating, There's been this thing. There was this thing on Twitter, and making the rounds. There was a lot of stuff in scientific articles about T-cell immunity, and as far as I know, it's basically the premise that people are naturally immune to COVID because they've had other coronaviruses some of the time, and that would explain a lot of these asymptomatic people or people that don't really get serious symptoms. So this was a theory that was going around for a while, for a couple months, and I guess Fauci actually put his name to a couple of the scholarly papers for it. But then all of a sudden he makes this this 180 turn on it when this thing with Rand Paul happens in Congress, where Rand Paul's more pro herd immunity, I'll use that in quotes, and says, oh, people are naturally immune, and then he's like, no, they're not. There's a recent study that came out. It's like Fauci's acting about that. How he was acting about it, he just didn't explain himself, and that's why I don't really like. That's why I don't like Fauci. There's no transparency with him. Like he just turns things around. He turns on his previous statements. He contradicts himself constantly. There's all sorts of contradictions where like I was talking to someone last night about Andrew Cuomo, and I don't know enough about the nursing home controversy to make a statement. That's horrible if that's what all that's been accused of. But one thing that he did with it, which is better, at least in the public arena, is he was always like, we were wrong about this and this. This is what we learned. His public statements were always like, oh, I didn't know that, blah, blah, blah. Like, he didn't have the arrogance that Fauci has. And another thing about Fauci is that, there were a lot of statements early in the year which were really weird. Not only the masks one. The masks one is rightfully controversial. At first I was like, well, yeah, he had to change his mind because of PPE. But if you watch the actual 60 Minutes clip, he's basically acting like, masks? What? Masks? That's how he was acting. So if you watch the fucking clip. I'm sure you can still find it. So there's another clip that is out there, which I might actually use in a video. It's basically, never in the history of respiratory viruses has asymptomatic carriers been the primary driver of transmission. It's like, oh my God. So now you say this, you don't come back and say, oh, I was wrong about asymptomatic transmission. Who the hell knows what's going on? It's just this way that he talks to the public, and he talks over people like in this way. I haven't watched any of the podcasts that he does or whatever. Maybe he's better in these like podcasts and shit. But I just think we need someone. We need a new voice, a new face, new faces and new voices in the whatever the health professionals are when with the COVID thing. I mean, it's gotten too tumultuously contentious, and that's just my opinion. I mean, the right hates Fauci. If we saw someone else that had more transparency and was a lot less of a dick about stuff, like those hearings with Rand Paul. He shot down Rand Paul. It's like Rand Paul is no fucking rocket science, especially compared to his father. His father would probably be a better debating Fauci if so. But anyways, there's no calls coming in, but that was just an email. That's all I got to say. I say fire Fauci. I support that even in the left, as I am. Fire Fauci.